pedestrians in central Stockholm on Friday. 4 people were killed and 15 wounded in what authorities described as a terror attack. Swedish intelligence services said the man had no clear links to extremist groups and appeared to have acted alone. Nadia Massi reports.
The Swedish authorities are taking few risks. For now, they're releasing very little information about the suspect in Friday's ramming attack. What we know, the man detained by the police is 39 years old. He's from Uzbekistan, and although the police had intelligence on him, he had not been linked to extremist groups.
We are focusing on, of course, on how he has entered the country, where has he been, kind of contacts that he had, what can we see from his friends.
On Friday, just before 3 p.m, the suspect drove a stolen truck at high speed down one of the busiest streets in the capital. The driver hit as many passers-by as possible before ramming himself into this storefront. And police are suggesting that he may have intended to go on to carry out further attacks.
We have found something in the truck where in the driver's seat, a technical device which should not be there. I cannot at this stage say that this is a bomb.
The style of the attack is reminiscent of the latest terrorist acts in London as well as in Berlin and Nice, all of which were claimed by the Islamic State group.
We had no information that an attack like this would take place. But we are part of Europe, we are part of the world, and we are under no circumstances protected. This is international terrorism.
Sweden will observe a national day of mourning on Monday.
The Syrian airbase targeted in the US cruise missile attack is up and running once again. That's according to the governor of Homs province. The Syrian army had said Friday's US cruise missile attack caused extensive damage to the Shayrat base, though a senior military source now claims only a few out-of-service jets were damaged. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said warplanes since took off from Shayrat to carry out strikes. And meanwhile, Syrian rebels continue to lead the last opposition-held neighborhood in the city of Homs. Syria's state news agency reported over 240 rebels and their families left on Saturday under a deal allowing them to travel safely to opposition-held territory elsewhere in the country. It's the 4th batch of evacuations under that Russian-supervised deal to bring Homs city under government control.
Under the eye of the Syrian army, armed rebels prepared to evacuate the Al-War neighborhood of Homs in western Syria. These fighters and their families represent the 4th phase of an evacuation deal reached in February between rebels and the Assad regime. That agreement, brokered by Russian forces after previous deals fell apart, will see an estimated 12,000 people, 2,500 of them rebel fighters, leave the area.
It's expected that by the end of April, Al-War will be free from any arms, and the institutions of the Syrian state will be back in the neighborhood.
Homs is Syria's 3rd largest city and was once known as the capital of the rebellion. But Assad regime offensives to retake the city have gradually pushed rebel fighters from their strongholds. This evacuation represents the end of Syrian opposition in Homs. Activists call it forced displacement.
Today is the 4th batch going towards Jarablus, and we are saying goodbye to our friends. We lived for 5 years together and no one helped or supported us either in the countryside or here. I can't even talk about our situation.
While some of those leaving will be moved to Jarablus in Aleppo province to the north, others will go to Idlib, where a suspected chemical weapons strike killed scores of civilians earlier in the week. When the exodus is complete, it will have been the largest in the course of Syria's civil war, and all of Homs will be back in regime hands.
And staying in Syria, in rebel-controlled Idlib province, airstrikes have killed at least 18 people, among them 5 children. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and the Civil Defense Rescue Service reported that the strikes hit the town of Umm al-Jawz and that the death toll was likely to rise.